Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the Flexbox. But before, I wanted to recap a little the property of block and inline element, and so the normal flow in general. The block elements, they contain the 100%. They occupy the 100% of the container that is assigned to them. They create a new line, so they stay on their own line if two boxes of one is margin 20 pixel and one is margin 30 pixel, you add the two margins, so the margin between them is 50 pixel. You can use height and width with block elements, and padding and margin are token and calculated both horizontally and vertically, which means that you use padding and margin and they are calculated despite of inline elements where I say it now, vertical padding and margin isn't considered because padding and margin horizontally. So if you want to slide something from the left to right, you can. But if you have a inline element at the top of the page and you want it to put it down using a padding or a margin, it won't be considered because of this kind of feature. Inline are adjacent to the elements they are near to. If there are two elements, two boxes, inline boxes near with each other, one is 20 pixel, the other is 40 pixel, the distance of the margin is 30 pixel, so it consider only the margin, the bigger margin, and this is called margin collapsing. And last, there is no height or width property. I mean, you can't assign height or width property. Said this, I move to the Flexbox. So what are we going to say about Flexbox? Why do we use the Flexbox? We are going to take some examples. We are going to talk about the Flex containers and the Flex items, the Flex model, about the Flex direction and the wrapping, a small shortcut to use the Flex direction and the Flex wrapping and the Flex wrap together. We are going to talk about the dimension of the Flex items. We are going to talk about how to align the items vertically or horizontally using align items or justify content. And then we talk about the order of the items. And lastly, a little talk about the cross-browser compatibility. So I just made a small example. Let's see the result, even if it's not the best. It's really the most simple thing I could ever created. Anyway, as you see, these are the three boxes that they behave in a flex mode. So since they are flex mode, look at the code: section, class container, section, and then article, article, article. So the section behaves like a box. Is the box is a block? Is a block? It behaves like a block. Articles behave like inline with each other, and so they behave like an inline element. First thing, let's see the code. Here we just have container, which is the class for the section, display flex. Then item, which is the class for the articles. Height, background color, flex growth doesn't matter, and item più item to give a margin, etc., etc. Very simple, and you can see that all the features that we have said about the basic features that we said and are respected in this piece of code. Now I want to move. I'm going to find an article about the Flex model. About the Flex model, here is the article. So here we have what is in orange is the flex container, and what's in blue is the flex items, is our items. Like here, the section is the container, plus container, article, 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 class item. So this is how it's divided. And we have some properties here. We can see that we have, here it says that we have a main axis and a cross axis, like it's x and epsilon. And we have also a main start and the main end. The main start could equal to x0, x equal to 0, and the main end equal to x equal to the amount of you decided. Same thing, cross start, cross end, epsilon 0, epsilon amount you decided. And the same things are inside the flex item. So also the flex items has a main axis, main size, main axis, cross size, cross axis, and the main start, main end. Why I'm telling you this? I'm telling you this because in the next thing that we're going to cover, these keywords are going to be useful. It's not much to remember, 5 or 6 words, but they are important, and now we are going to see why, and we are going to move on. We are going to talk about the flex direction. For this example and the others, the following, I took this piece of code that comes from Mozilla Developer because mine was suck and it wasn't good to see for the explanation. Anyway, I will use this page and flex direction. What does it do? Because we already saw that display flex makes the page like this, but we could display the rows like at the beginning was like this. So now if there wasn't display flex, like now okay, let's return like this. If I toggle display flex, it returns like this, but we cannot work on the page very well. We are a little stuck because the display is not flex. So we display flex, we put the flex direction, and here we can do a lot of stuff. We can put the columns, but we can even column reverse. So as you see now, we have the columns that are from the last to the last from the first. Then in initial, reverse, then row, and even row reverse. And as you see, is further to the third, from the third to the first. And more or less that's it. So remember to use the flex direction to be more fast and more flexible with the changes of your code. And now let's see the wrapping. So talking about wrapping, let's come back here. And this one I added myself, so it's not in the code. And here I could write flex wrap. Let's see okay, yeah, let's flex wrap, and then we take the article, one article, the last article, and we copy and paste it a lot of times. I think it's enough. And now let's see what it does. And as you see, it renders the spaces quite well. Let's see what it does without what we have put. So, here it has a display wrap. Let's remove it. And as you see, automatically it's all the columns that are um, because of the columns are too much, the page has become larger than the screen, and to see the whole page, you have to use the scroll bar, and this is not good, of course. So with the flex wrap, we do like this, and as you see. And what if here we remove these? As you see, becomes all columns, and he doesn't care really that we have display flex, because we are not anymore controlling the size of our column of our articles. So with this display flex, we control the size of our columns, and with this flex wrap, we manage to put the articles down into the page if the amount of columns are too much for the height, for the width of of our page, and so it renders it quite well, and as you see, even automatically these are larger than the first one, etc., etc. This is it. So let's move on. With the flex flow. Flex flow, which is just a shortcut for flex direction and flex wrap. We already see both. So here we have flex wrap, and if we want a flex direction, we should do like this: flex direction row. But if you use flex flow, is faster. You put flex flow. First parameter is the flex direction, so flex direction row. Second parameter is flex wrap, which is wrap. So now we comment this, and it still works the same. As you see, it's still the same, blah blah blah. It's just a shortcut. You understand what I mean, no? So, okay, this is it. Let's move on with the dimensions of the flex items. So let's go here, and let's launch. Let's see on the screen. Before we have seen that we have put the flex 200 pixel for every articles. Now we put the flex as 1, and it changes nothing. But now let's go to the third article, which every article is flex 1 now. Let's go to the flex article. You go to element style to change the DOM of only the third article, flex 2. What is doing now? Before we were using an absolute measure, which is pixel. Now we are using a relative measure. What is doing is, okay, here you have wrote 1, 1, 2. So this one is occupying 2/4 of the space, this one and this one. Now, if I come here and I say 3, this is occupying 3/5 of the space, this one and this one, and so on. And yes, as you see, it can be very useful if you want to give more space to one of your boxes than the others. It works very well. Okay, this is all. I hope you will remember. And now we are going to talk about the align items and the justify content. So these two are meant to organize your code horizontally and vertically. I created a section with 5 divs. We see the CSS, section display flex flow, height and border. We already saw these things, and div a square of 200 per 200, background color, etc., etc. Let's see it on the screen. Okay, so what does justify align item? Let's see. I'm a little lost because of these comments. Okay, let's see this section. What if I write, allora, as I said, align items, organize it things vertically. Let's start with justify content. Okay, or organize things horizontally, and as you see, I put a one square more. Anyway, organize it to the center, to the end, flex start, inherit, initial, left, normal, revert, uh, right, then space around, space between, space evenly, start, etc., etc. These are the only three that I want to talk about. Space around, the space between, just watch the fourth, not the five. There is one more. Anyway, space around, the space in between the box are is uh, is equal to each other. Space between the space between the to each other is the same, but there is no space to the end of to the margin of the area. Last, space evenly, the space between the boxes is the same and even same to the border of the area. Anyway, it is more simple to see it than to explain it. You can see it very clearly. Now let's see just align align items. But sorry, I want to delete one div because I'm disturbed by this. My mind is disturbed by that thing. Okay, now let's see the line item, but same thing really. Just here you write, holy shit, align items, and we have all the baseline, center, and flex start, inherit, normal, reverse, self end, self start. You can really organize your code in your page very simply with these things, and it's very useful, and it's very useful. So is an important subject of this lesson. Let's finish with these things. Order the items and the cross-browser compatibility. Okay, so we still have our four square boxes. I added a class for each of them. The point here is that our boxes can be ordered. We can order our boxes how we want. For what reason? Because it might be useful. For example, if a mobile device has a screen that is less less large than our desktop device, it might show the things like this, or for other reasons we might want to order the things as we want. Here is how we do it. Text, we start typing on properties on our new classes. Box 1, order -1, and box 1, sorry, box 4, box 4, and now as you see, with order -1, the box will be put at the first position ever. You can do, of course, something more complex. Let's create four different classes. Let's leave box 4 like that. Box 1, box 2, and box 3, and order box 1 in position, oh shit, in position 4, box 2 in position 3, and box 3 in position 2, and as you see, the result is as you expect. So yeah, now I accidentally reversed the things. I just wanted to make a casual. Anyway, you understood how it works. Last thing I want to show in this video is not about cross-browser compatibility, but about nesting items. So now in our box 4, other than leaving a 4, we are going to create 4 divs, 3 divs, 4 divs, and we assign them a class nested box, and I'm going to give this class to each of them. And then of course we are going to give some properties to our nested box CSS class, blah blah blah. We are going to give him a height of 30 px. We are going to give them a width of 30 px. We are going to give him a margin of 5 px and a background color blue. Okay, let's see what's up here in the screen. And here is it. You can nest items inside items, and as you see, there are squares inside the thing, and you can even use flex direction on the items that are inside, but see it yourself. We ended up for this video. We're going to talk about something else in the next video. I hope you followed it and you subscribe. You followed me and you keep watching my videos, etc., etc. Subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much.